Who's ready to go live? Welcome to the Kellie Kitchen. We are doing some cooking and been a little cooped up in here. We got a few more weeks of this to go, and we're just gonna go with it. We're just gonna have fun, and we are gonna do some cooking in the Kellie Kitchen. I like to do some treadmill work in my kitchen also because I'm going a little crazy. But it's been quite a week, and I'm so happy to be here. We have some super great dishes to share with you. They're all low carb and delicious, and I know that your family will love them. We are going to make a chicken artichoke spinach cheesy casserole, and it is just an easy family meal that everybody loves. And we're going to get started on that in a minute. We're going to make my perfect Instant Pot hard-boiled eggs. They are super easy and like easy peels. So it's that's on tap tonight. Hi, Atsuko. How are you? And then we're also going to make my keto chocolate truffles, and we're going to roll them in some coconut. But you can roll them in nuts or unsweetened cocoa if you want, or anything that you want. But we're going to do them in coconut, classic coconut chocolate situation. We're going to get started first with, oh, hi, Matey family. Girls, you need to get in the kitchen with your mom. Help her out. First, we're going to get started with our Instant Pot hard-boiled eggs. I will never make hard-boiled eggs any other way. If you like deviled eggs, if you like eggs sliced over your salads, if you just like egg salad, take an egg straight from the fridge. This is the easiest way to do hard-boiled eggs, and mostly because they're so easy to peel. So I have my Instant Pot here. Here's my insert, same as always, and every Instant Pot comes with like a metal trivet like this, and you're gonna put that right in the bottom. Nothing fancy about that. We're gonna pour in about 3/4 cup of water into our Instant Pot. You can do a dozen eggs, you can just do 6 eggs. I'm just gonna do 6 because I am kind of rationing a little bit. I don't need a dozen hard-boiled eggs at this moment. Just like everyone else, I'm trying to keep an eye on how I use my food, and I don't want to go to the supermarket very often. I have no problem going to the supermarket. All of my supermarkets are fully stocked, and everybody is very respectful, but I just am trying to not use so much food. So I put 6 eggs right on top of the trivet, right on top of the water that's at the bottom. Hi, Jessie. Oh, hi, Sarah. How are you? Nice to see you. 6 eggs right there, right on top of the trivet, right on top of the cup, half a cup, 3/4 cup of water. It's not a set science there. You just need to have a little bit of water covering the bottom so you don't burn the pan. My favorite sound. And you're gonna turn that and make it so that it's sealed. And then you're gonna turn this little knob right on top. I wish I had a close-up camera, but this little knob that's on the top is the vent, and you're going to turn that to sealing. It's kind of wobbly, but as soon as this gets going, it'll seal in the heat. So we're going to go, it's on off right now, and we're going to press egg, and it's on 5 minutes already. If your Instant Pot is a different if it shows a different number there, just use the plus or minus, up or down, to get to 5 minutes. And now it says on. So that is it. My trick with Instant Pot hard-boiled eggs is 5, 5, and 5. So you set it for 5 minutes, and then once it's going to go for 5 minutes now after it pressurizes, and then you're going to let it sit there for 5 minutes after it is pressurized. And then we're going to put them in cold water for 5 minutes, and then they're done. Super easy. And you can peel them right then, or you can put them in the fridge after they've chilled in the cold water and leave them in your fridge in the shells. Still super easy to peel. Okay, we're done with that for right now, anyways. We're going to just move this out of the way. You're not supposed to actually move an Instant Pot once it's going, but it's still cool, so I'm not too worried about that. We are going to get started on my chicken artichoke casserole. Now, this is a play on our favorite like spinach artichoke dip, and you can add as much spinach or as little spinach as you want. If you only have frozen spinach, feel free to use frozen spinach. One of the things that, oh, and of course, canned artichokes. These come in water. I get them quartered just because it makes it easier, less chopping for me. If the supermarket only has the kind that is marinated in the jar, this is a 14-ounce can. Johnny Bird, Keto Fabulous, thanks for joining me. If they only have marinated artichoke hearts, don't worry about it. Get them anyways. You need 14 ounces, so you probably have to get 2 of those jars. Drain the oil off, throw the oil away, or save it for a salad or something, and then rinse them because you don't want the casserole to be too soupy. So, anyways, I want you to get where you drain them off, and then we chop them. I've got about 1 to 2 tablespoons of olive oil in my skillet here. I don't want it scorching hot because I don't want to really brown my onions. I just want to soften them up a little bit because then we're going to cook them in here, and we're not looking to actually brown them. We're just looking to soften them. Here's the other thing that I do with, and this is kind of weird because this is a yellow onion, but it's kind of got a red tint to it, if you guys can see that. Hi, Carla from Kentucky. Thanks for joining me. So you're going to take a half of an onion and you're going to slice it like this. See these little slices here? They're like little half moons. And I like them a little bit longer and leaner because they give a different texture in the casserole. If you chop them up, that's fine too. But I don't know. I just think that this is a better texture for the actual casserole. So this is a half of an onion sliced. We're going to get that in the pan. We're not going to actually put the artichokes in yet, but I wanted to show you. They come quartered, but, oh, my mama is watching. Hi, Mom. I did sort of a rough chop on my artichoke heart. So I drained them, and then I did a rough chop. And those are going to go in after I get the onions a little bit softened up. And then I will also add our spinach. Okay, let me tell you a little bit about the spinach part of this. So just pre-washed spinach, normally they come in a bag of about 10 ounces, either a bag or a box, and this is 10 ounces. The last time I made this recipe, I used half the box. So it's about 4.5 ounces or half a bag or half a box, or you can just say 2 big handfuls of spinach, of fresh baby spinach. Again, you can use frozen spinach if you want. Just make sure that you, after you thaw your frozen spinach, you squeeze out all the moisture because you don't want, again, you want your casserole not to be soupy. And we don't have any carbs sort of soaking up. We don't have any rice or noodles or whatever soaking up stuff. So we're just gonna try and take all the water out of these things. Who just joined me? Did my friend Amy Jo from college. So fun to see you. My most creative friend right there. And she's an attorney. She needs to pick a different career. Who else is watching me? Oh, hi, Sandra. Oh, artichokes. Good question. Sandra asked if I use 1 or 2 cans of artichokes. When you get them in the can, it's just 1 can. It's 14 ounces. And the recipe calls that out. The recipe is on the website at thekellykitchen.com. It's 1 can. But if you only can find the little jars, then it's usually 2 jars. But the recipe calls for 14 ounces, which is 1 can of artichoke hearts. So our onions, woo, I'm getting fancy in here. They're getting nice and soft. And when you put your spinach in, it's going to look really big. Don't worry. It wilts down, and then you'll be like, where's all the spinach? Because it goes away. So you're going to, basically, if you don't want to measure it and you don't want to weigh it, it's 2 large handfuls of spinach. If you want to add more, feel free. And this is going to just wilt down, and you just want to turn it just a little bit, just to get the leaves in the heat, and we'll get those nice and wilted down. While that is wilting down, I just want to show you something. I kind of got started a little early because I was being efficient. In my bowl here, I have, oh, hi, Claire. How are you? Oh, and Lizzie, you're the best. I have 4 ounces of softened cream cheese, and I wasn't so efficient, so I didn't pull that out in time, so I put that in the microwave for like 30 seconds just to soften up the cream cheese. I've got a little bit of mayonnaise. There's 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise, and there is 1/3 cup of sour cream. I would not recommend using Greek yogurt, again, because Greek yogurt has a lot of moisture in it. So you're going to want to not substitute. And same thing for light mayonnaise. You want to just use regular mayonnaise. So I use my favorite, Best Foods, or I make my own when I have time. I actually do have a little bit more time these days, just like everybody else. I use regular sour cream. I use 3 garlic cloves, and I didn't have any fresh garlic, so I just pulled this out of my fridge. And what else did I do? Oh, can you guys see my hard-boiled eggs? The Instant Pot is pressurizing right now. It hasn't actually started my 5 minutes, but it will in just a second. The other thing I'm going to add to my stuff is grated Parmesan cheese. There's a 1/2 cup of this. And I have that in there. Let me just stir this so that I don't burn anything. Oh, I got a lot of stuff going on here, you guys. But this meal comes together very, very, very quickly. So I told you everything that's in the bowl. I'm going to start mixing that together. I added my chopped artichoke hearts. They're just, you don't even have to chop them. You can just drain them and dump them right into the pan. Don't feel like you have to be super, efficient about all of this stuff. But you just want to mix all of this together and just heat up. My spinach is all wilted. Take a look. Doesn't that look good? I mean, you could kind of just use that if you wanted to. It's so delicious. I turned my heat off. Don't worry. I also have 1 jalapeno. Now, I used to be afraid of jalapenos, but I love spicy stuff. But I used to be afraid of them. And then I started really using jalapenos a lot. And it's really important to take all the seeds out because you still get this great flavor, but you don't have this like overwhelmingly spicy dish. So I took 1 very large jalapeno and I scraped all the seeds out and I chopped that up. So I'm going to add that in. This will actually cook in the casserole when we put it into the oven. So, don't worry about the fact that we're just going to heat it up here in this mixture. We're also going to add just like a little teaspoon, 1/2 teaspoon of salt and a little bit of cracked pepper. It's getting hot in here, you guys. It's been quite a week, but we're loving it, and we're loving this time to sort of regroup. And I know some people are having a hard time with this. I, too, have hard moments. I am just like everyone else. I'm not always this peppy. I'm not always like dancing all the time and happy. But I keep showing up, and we all have to keep showing up because we have no control over a lot of the stuff. And the only things that we have control over, we can do. So that's like stay home and exercise and get some good rest and cook some good meals. Oh, hi, Marie. Oh, and Nancy. I'm so glad to see you. And Kate, everybody. It's so great to see everybody. This is almost like our Zoom cocktail hour, right? Okay, guys, in my bowl here, I've got cream cheese, mayonnaise, sour cream, Parmesan cheese, garlic, and I am just going to mix that all together. It's really important that your cream cheese is at room temperature or that you soften it. Otherwise, this doesn't come together. So look at how it just came together really, really smooth. I'm also going to add, you guys might have seen on my website, I just posted, I've been meaning to do this forever, but my recipe for Instant Pot rotisserie chicken. I've only got 3 minutes left on the eggs. Can you believe it? My recipe for the best Instant Pot rotisserie chicken every week. I make like 5 pounds of rotisserie chicken. And so this is 2 cups of rotisserie chicken that I made in my Instant Pot. I have the rest of it in my refrigerator that I'll use for other things. I might put it in soup or whatever. But this is 2 cups chopped. I'm going to add that right to my cheese mixture. I'm also going to toss in my warm onion artichoke mixture. Hi, Heather. Nice to see you. I'm going to pour that right in there to my cheese mixture. This is so, because everything is cooked in this, we're only going to have to really put it into the oven for, I put it in for 15 minutes at 400 degrees. And then the last minute, I add, I turn it to broil. So it gets like a nice bubbly crust on top. And don't worry, moms and dads, sorry, dads cook too. The spinach gets covered in lots of cheese and chicken, and the kids don't even know that they're eating all these wonderful vegetables, which is great. Okay, so can you guys see, you get this wonderful mixture pulled together. It's chicken and artichoke and onions and spinach, and we're just going to pour that right into, oh wait, let me just say a word about this. Okay, so we only have 2 people eating here, and I can't be making so much food all the time. So for this recipe, I use this much smaller casserole dish. This is like a 6 by 10, but this is a great dish for feeding a crowd. Oh, hold on 1 second. Our Instant Pot 5 minutes is done. So 5 minutes of cooking is done on the Instant Pot, on the eggs, and now I'm going to let it sit for 5 minutes. There we go. Super easy. Okay, so if you want to feed a crowd, this is so easy. You just double the recipe and put it in a 9 by 13 casserole. And if you want to make 1 casserole now and 1 casserole later, double the recipe and make 2 of these and put 1 in your freezer. And then you can actually pull it out of the freezer and pop it right into your oven. I would change the temperature because you can cook it right from frozen. So I'm going to just get this right into my casserole dish and try not to spill anything. We have been going on 5 to 7 mile walks every single day around 5 o'clock. It has been so wonderful to get out in the neighborhood. And I think everybody has been incredibly respectful. You see somebody coming the other way and you each go around each other. And it's been really great to just get out and be in the neighborhood. And I feel so fortunate that it's sunny here all the time. Hi, Kelly. Nice to see you. Kel, we've got our spinach artichoke chicken casserole, and we're rocking it right now. Super happy. Hi, Sandra. What keeps you from cheating? Well, I still have a job, so thank God for that. So I'm working all day at my desk. Let me finish answering that question in 1 second, because I'm going to put this in the oven, and I want to get that started, and I feel like I'm going to get sidelined. So I add a little bit of red pepper flakes to the top, just like 1/4 of a teaspoon or 1/2 of a teaspoon. And again, you don't have to do this, but I think it And I don't think it's that spicy, but you don't have to do this at all. But I just add it for a little extra flavor and kick. And we'll put that right on top. And then I just add a cup of mozzarella cheese. I just sprinkle it right on top. And then we're gonna bake this into the oven. So the question was, how do I not cheat and how do I watch the carbs? Well, I have a schedule that I try to stick to. Most of you guys know that I intermittent fast. So in the morning, all I have is coffee, black coffee. And, you know, I love my LaCroix. And I really just try to throw myself into work and things that need to be done, whether it's organizing a drawer or getting on the phone with clients or whatever. And then I have a routine. So I kind of try to stick to it. And then a lot of my stuff is frozen, so I don't have the opportunity to pull it all out. But that's kind of how I try to not cheat and not try to eat too many carbs throughout the day. Here's my casserole. I'm gonna pop this in the oven for 15 minutes and then it'll be done super fast. Okay, so it's a 400-degree oven. Going right in. I'm gonna set the timer. 15 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna wash my hands because I have jalapeno and onion and garlic and chicken and whatever. And we're gonna get busy with our keto chocolate truffles. Yum-y. So I like coconut. I like it. I don't love it. But I know a lot of people love coconut, and this dessert is so perfect because it has very few ingredients, and you don't have to use coconut with it. So these are my keto chocolate truffles, and I use Lily's semi-sweet style baking chips. There are a couple of other brands. There's Chalk Zero, there's Lakanto, there's Let's Bake Believe. Just look for stevia sweetened or low carb chocolate chips. You're going to use a cup of these. By the way, 9 ounces, which is 1 bag, is 1.5 cups. So we're going to use a cup of chocolate chips, of our Lily's chocolate chips. We're going to use 3/4 cup of heavy cream. Yum, I love heavy cream. And then we're going to use 3 tablespoons of butter. I'm going to give that a little bit of a swizzle, just like that. I'm cooking it right now, Marie. I put the chicken artichoke casserole in the oven, and now we are making keto chocolate truffles. Yum. Okay, so these are going in for 1.5 minutes. While that's doing its business, I wanted to just make a note because I see some recipes that call for, I think it's called desiccated coconut. It's just another term for really finely ground coconut. I just use regular shredded, unsweetened coconut. I don't toast it. You can toast it if you want. I have flake coconut, and I like to use that sometimes, but it's a bigger flake, so it's a little bit chewier, I guess you could say. So I just use regular unsweetened coconut flakes, or grated coconut. I think that's what they call it, shredded coconut. And that's for after we roll them into balls. And then the sweetener that I use, I always take it out of the bag and I put it in these, but I would love to be able to show you. I use Lakanto monk fruit sweetener. Again, it is not only monk fruit. It is a blend. I don't know why they call it only that, but this is Lakanto monk fruit powdered sweetener. You can use classic. That's totally fine, but you need to powder it. And I use my coffee grinder to do that when I only have the granular kind, but I also bought the powdered kind because it just saves me a step from having to do that. So that is our sweetener. We'll come back to that in a second. Our microwave just went off with the chocolate chips and the cream and the butter. I'm going to let that sit in there for about 1 minute. And while that is sitting in there kind of melting the chocolate chips, I am going to get busy on my hard-boiled eggs because those have been sitting in there. I went a little over. They've been sitting in there for 6 minutes. Don't worry about it. But now I am going to take them out of the Instant Pot. That's it. I use these because it is very hot. I have a bowl here of just regular cold water. You can put a couple ice cubes in it if you want. And we're just going to take our hard-boiled eggs and we're going to put them in this water and we're going to let that sit for about 5 minutes. And I put my Instant Pot, call it a day. So while these are sitting and cooling down, I am going to show you my chocolate chips. See, it just, they don't look very melted just yet. Can you see that? I hope so. Yes. So I'm just going to take, oh, this is very nice. Let's see if I can show you this way. See if I can you see that? So your chocolate is melting into the cream and you just, with a whisk, and you can use a fork if you don't have a whisk. Totally easy to do that. And funniest daily, a couple times a day updates that they kind of keep me going through this whole quarantine thing. Okay, so see my chocolate? It's nice and mixed together. Now I'm going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of, here, let me bring this over here. I'm going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla extract, real vanilla extract. Just gives it a little flavor. And so we're going to just pour this in here. There's my vanilla. And then we're going to add 4 tablespoons of the powdered monk fruit sweetener. Again, it has to be powdered or else what happens with these sweeteners is that they don't dissolve like real sugar. There's 3. Oh, shoot. How many did I do? I think I did 3. Okay, this is 4. You guys, I lost track. Whoops. Oh, well. It is what it is. I'm sorry. These are going to be a little sweet. We're just going to keep them in the freezer and we'll have them. So I've mixed all of my stuff together. Now here's the hard part about this recipe is that once you mix this chocolate together, you got to let it sit in the fridge for at least an hour. Well, because this is the magic of live television, I already made a batch. So this batch is going in the fridge. And this batch, I'm so fancy. Aren't I fancy? This batch, I already got started. And oh, my friend Vic from Canada. Hi, Vic. How are ya? Good to see ya. So this is what happens to your chocolate mixture. You saw how runny it was. Well, you put it in there for an hour and it hardens up. You can use just a regular spoon if you want. I like to use this this little mini scooper just because it gives me relatively the same size little balls. And this recipe makes about 22 truffles. And you don't have to do them all in coconut. You can do some in chopped nuts. I've done them in chopped roasted pecans or roasted, I'm sorry, not roasted, macadamia nuts is always good. And what else is good? just, you know, the unsweetened cocoa powder kind of adds, if you like that dark chocolate flavor. So I haven't done all of it, but I'm just going to get started with this because, you know, we're on a time frame here. First thing I do is I get all the balls out here. Now, they're not perfect. That's okay, because what we're going to do, I'm going to wash my hands. I'm going to get as much water as I can off of my hands, but they're still a little bit wet. See how they're still a little bit wet? And I might have to wet in between, because this is where it gets a little dirty, but who cares? You've got now a little ball, and you're going to toss it in your shredded coconut. And then you just put it right there on the tray. And I don't have a whole nother set in the freezer right now. That would be too many chocolate truffles in my house. But you get the idea. You just want to make little balls and then toss them in your coconut. And these keep in the freezer forever. But here's the thing. You're going to keep them in the freezer, but then when you're ready to have one, what you're going to want to do is pull it out of the freezer, maybe have one or two. Okay, let's be honest. You're going to want to see, I am getting these all pulled together. How many minutes left? Only 4 minutes left on our chicken casserole. You guys, it's not even 7 o'clock yet. This is crazy. You can get dinner on the table in like a nanosecond. That's for sure. I tell you, the thing that saves me is that rotisserie chicken. So check out the recipe on the website. It's so easy. And the bonus from the Instant Pot rotisserie chicken is I get about 4 cups of chicken stock, of homemade chicken stock, whenever I do that. So I use that chicken stock for, it's like I don't have to make chicken stock separately. It makes it for me while I'm doing that rotisserie chicken in there. Okay, I just have a few more, and we're gonna finish this up here, and we'll get these into the fridge to firm them up a little bit more, and then I'm gonna show you how easy these hard-boiled eggs are. You're gonna die. They literally, the shell just rolls off of them, and they will make your life forever easier. Now, I put them 5, 5, 5. That's my rule. 5, 5, 5. But if you like your egg yolks a little bit runnier, do it for 3 minutes in the Instant Pot. Only cook it for 3 minutes, and then do like 3, 3, 3. Because then the egg white will be cooked, but the egg yolk will still be a little bit runny, or they call it jammy, I guess, and that's kind of delicious over like a salad or something like that. I'm almost done. My last one for now. I'll finish the rest later. You guys don't really want to watch this, I'm sure. And then I will wash my hands. But look at how beauteous these are. I am quite impressed with myself. Da, 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 da. Keto chocolate truffles. That recipe's on the website too. Super easy. We're going to put that in the fridge. I wash my hands, and then I'm going to show you my Instant Pot hard-boiled eggs. Put this off to the side. What else is going on? How many carbs per ball? Very good question. I think it's about 1 carb per ball, because the chocolate chips have almost no carbs in them, and it's just the cream, I think. And yeah, right? Yes, it is keto heaven. Vic, I know, right? Okay, check it out. Here are my hard-boiled eggs. See? Can you hear that? Hard. I like to crack it the whole way around. Every inch of my egg shell is cracked. I'll show you that. See if you can see. See how my egg is cracked the whole way around? And then I'm dropping shells all over the floor. Whoops, sorry. How easy is that? Can you believe it? So great. And then I just leave it in the water because it gets all the extra shells off. These, I can have 6 eggs peeled in like a nanosecond. Right? Look at this. Done. Best investment ever. If I only bought an Instant Pot for hard-boiled eggs, it would be the best investment ever. I think they're only like $70. It's not a big deal. I actually have 2 because I love them so much. There we go. They're just, the eggshell just peels right off. And, you know, you want to make sure that you buy, I love, there's a company called the Happy Egg, and their eggs are a little bit more expensive, but the chickens are happy. And I just think that that's better. And the egg yolk on them is just phenomenal. So those are my Instant Pot hard-boiled eggs. Did you hear it? Hard-boiled egg, done. Let's check our chicken casserole. Wow. Okay, so here's the thing. Everything in that chicken casserole is already cooked. So it's already cooked, but it's nice and bubbly on the outside. And so I just turned my oven to broil. And I always set my timer when I put it on broil because I have a tendency of walking away and letting things burn because I'm just always doing a bazillion other things. So I set my timer broil for 2 minutes. I got about a minute left. I just wanted to show you guys what my hard-boiled eggs look like when I slice them. These, you guys, so good. They're just perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect hard-boiled eggs. Isn't that amazing? So then I would just pull the yolk out. I mix it with a little bit of mayonnaise and mustard. And then I could have a whole little appetizer thing with deviled eggs here. I could even make that my dinner. I could put it over a salad. I got 1 more minute going on there. I hope everybody is hanging in there. If anything, enjoying this time with your family and slowing down and not having to commute anywhere. And, you know, it's really important that you just keep showing up. I know it's tough. We're all in this together, and, you know, definitely do your part. Social distancing, or I should say physical distancing, because I think of this as a very social time for me. So I'm incredibly appreciative that you guys come and see me because it's my way to be social and interact with people, and I love that. So I really appreciate you guys coming and sharing this with anybody. You can find a lot of my recipes on thekellykitchen.com. Also on all of my social media, which is the Kellie. And, you know, let me know if you have any questions. Oh, I'm in love. I'm speechless. This dinner is so good. It's bubbly and hot. And how quickly did that come together? You could use a store-bought rotisserie chicken. You could use frozen spinach. You could use a can of artichokes. And that's it. I mean, the only thing you have to really cook is the onions. But anyways, that is our dinner. We got the Instant Pot hard-boiled eggs. That recipe or how-to is on the website also. We're going to enjoy some keto chocolate truffles a little bit later after dinner. Thank you so much for joining me. If you have any questions or if you have any comments, let me know. And I can't wait to see you again next week. So have a great time. Bye, guys. That was quick. Have a good night.